Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all some time to tune in. Apologies for the consistent time change on this topic at hand. Yeah, dealing with enough, but nonetheless, still got to come to speak to the people. Probably ain't gonna be on too crazy tonight, but one or two things I want to discuss, especially with some of you young men and women out there. But first things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Monday. Hopefully everybody was smoothly able to get through their work day. Hopefully your kids was able to get through the school day if it ain't spring break for them already. And if it is spring break, just make sure you are paying attention and doing what you need to do as always. Jared, what's going on, my guy? It's going to be a little hectic week to a degree, you know. And again, for those who got college kids that are out and about on this occasion as well too, especially traveling out of state or out of country, just make sure that they good. Make sure that everything is everything. You know, for those who are celebrating birthdays over the weekend and still celebrating birthdays this week, I know it's Aries season. Shoot, say a special happy birthday to my younger brother. Yeah. You already know, bro. You know how we do it. You already know how we do things, bro. We're good live too, so shouts to all the Aries who are celebrating birthdays today. We ain't forget about you. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation on Saturday. Definitely was a great conversation nonetheless. For those that might have missed it, you could definitely catch the replay. Um, I feel I wasn't that far off with some of the things I've been bringing, and I'm gonna continue to keep bringing them. One thing I am going to say, hence why I got to put my copyright up. For those who are traveling outside of the country, I want some of y'all to really pay attention and understand some things. I mean, it really shouldn't take no celebrities or anybody else high up to tell you the real do's and don'ts, especially when you're, again, traveling outside of your comfort zone, way outside your comfort zone. Now, there's some of y'all who are traveling to places like Jamaica, or you traveling to places like, Russia, Ukraine, whatever the case is. Their laws and traditions are way different from ours. Some of y'all know this already. Serious, baby. Their laws and rules and traditions are different from ours. And it should be respected, just like we would want people to come and respect our traditions and everything else. But there's some of y'all again who don't need to crash out, and I mean crash out to the point where it could be detrimental to you. Prime example. Um, for some of you young ladies out there, there's some of y'all who are trying to be aggressive, especially when it's coming towards the male species. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you keep constantly putting yourselves in danger, harm's way, especially when it's a cop. One thing you should remember, if you're having fun, you're doing whatever, you still have to abide by rules and regulations. You know, prime example. There was a situation in Atlanta where the Jamaican cop had to put handcuffs and restrain a girl who really should have just calmed herself down, not got into her emotions. Now, my thing is, you was spazzing out or you was trying to get crazy with your brother, hence why the cops tried to intervene. You decide you want to swing, kick, and try to fight this man. Now, the funny part about this situation is this man was doing everything with one hand, body cam was catching it. Now, my thing is for some of y'all again, stop trying to fight the males, stop trying to fight the men because it's not going to end right for a lot of y'all. I'm telling you right now. Keith, what's going on? DD, baby, not going to end well for you. Reason why I say that is because when it's all said and done, y'all going to start crying and playing victim. Now, in some scenarios, there was some unfair injustices that happened, and we've seen it. But then there's other times when you are literally placing yourself in danger, and this is one of the reasons why I was saying one time before. There's some of y'all who can avoid specific dangers if you would keep yourself out of it. And this is how you do so. You need to get in control of your emotions. I don't care if you was inebriated. You can't be going off on the people that you with, especially y'all all having a good time. And then you decide you want to take it a step further and go try to, wild out on the cop. And that scenario right there could have turned deadly. It could have went bad. This is what I'm saying. Like you traveling out, you going out and about. Period. Keep yourself safe. You know, get tired of hearing stories of people not coming home just because of certain scenarios. Whether it's you was just leaving out of state or leaving out of country. Give me 1 second, y'all. But Files, what's going on? My fault, y'all. Dealing with a situation, but yeah, some of y'all women need to pay attention. And it's the same thing with some of you fellas out there. Because we got some people right now who are wishing to God that they don't catch themselves in the most unpredictable scenarios. Case in point, prime example. There's one dude who is currently locked up, like I said, for disrespecting the culture, basically, of a whole nother, it's backfiring, basically. Now, this person is still somewhat taking things as a joke, but can't take things as a joke when it could seriously land you more than 20 years of your life in jail, and especially in a whole nother country. I don't think nobody wants to be locked up for 20 years in Beijing or Japan or something along those lines. So I don't know why some people are taking it like it's a joke. And there are some people who have been getting into the utmost, you know, Like I said, some of them doing things for clout. Baby. Some people are doing things for clout, and there's definitely clout in their judgment. Now, again, that's not nothing to laugh at. Again, 20 to 25, probably longer than that, just because you harassing the people and disrespecting the culture. You can't think you're gonna be able to get away with certain things over there like you would be able to get away with some of the shit over here. Sorry to tell you that. It's the same thing again with some of you young men and women out there. You young women lately, I've been seeing and hearing, catching clips of y'all trying to fight a man when you know you have no wins against him. Now, again, I can see you fighting if you got to defend yourself. It's a do or die situation, something along those lines. Y'all supposed to do that. But when you're being aggressive for no apparent reason, even to the point where you feel you're still going to lift your hands up, you better understand what really comes with those type of scenarios, because it could be some serious consequences along the line. BDBGP going on. And that's something you got to realize. Like, you know, you're outside of your comfort zone. Shoot, their laws and the way the law enforcement deal with things out there, you could be in some serious trouble. That's just like you again going to Dubai. Oh, Dubai is definitely strict when it comes to anything that could possibly, so they not playing. Curse, especially around any officials, forget about it. You might get a warning, or you could seriously go to jail right then and there. They don't allow cursing or anything of any aggression because they're going to deem that as a threat, and your ass will be sitting up, or you'll be doing both. Who wants to sit up and then still have to pay a hefty fine? Again, when you are going into different cultures or different spaces, some of the things you was accustomed to doing here in the States, you're not going to be able to do. And why put yourself at risk? Another situation where young woman got overly emotional about a situation, and instead of listening to her friend, especially, he was definitely being reasonable and logical. No, she wanted to be gangster. She wanted to show people that she wasn't nothing to be played with. So you decide to go mess with other people's property and toss them into areas that you shouldn't be tossing them in. You're tossing people's stuff into pools and different scenarios. That's stuff you got to pay for. I just literally said this the other day how some people have to stop doing that. Destroying or trying to destroy people's properties, and you didn't purchase that. Because if you destroyed somebody's property, let's say if it was a phone and something else in those bags, you got to pay for that. And if you ain't got the funds to even do that, there should be no reason for you to do any of that. You got upset. You must have thought this was a skit from Chappelle's show when the girl said, "Forget this. I don't let nobody playing on my phone." That's not funny. You trying to keep it real and it went wrong. And then you ended up getting arrested. And you were lucky it wasn't worse than that. Some of you young fellas, you getting invited to certain places, and then instead of you just following certain rules and regulations, you want to do what you want to do, and then when you either get checked or you end up getting vacated out the premises, you wanna yell, holler, and hoot. But you can't do that when again somebody is inviting you somewhere and you're not respecting the rules of the house, basically. Again, remind yourself, you will put yourself into a certain scenario if you putting out that wrong form of energy. So that aggression that you want to be so about, you better be able to back it up for real. Some of you are putting yourselves in scenarios and you're by yourselves. And even when some of you are with a group of people, you still decide to do things that you know could be dangerous, not just to you, but for the people that's with you. You got to start thinking clearer and doing better. And I mean that because it's like nobody wants to hear a story about people who are supposed to be going out there enjoying themselves, having a good time, and then you get scenarios where you hear them getting arrested. Some of them are not even coming home from their vacations, which is a danger as well too. I'm not just going to speak about the aggression and the things that some of y'all people do when you out. I'm gonna speak about just being safe because there's some of y'all who are not coming home if you don't take heed to these lessons. When you know, prime example, you are somewhere near water, you can't really swim that well. Your best bet is to make sure you are with people who are, you know, who are not just going to be more alert and on point, but you want to make sure you are with people who know how to swim, who are good with trying to make sure everything is everything. Because again, don't nobody want to be washed up on sea. I believe nobody should have to worry about that. Like I said, story broke my heart when found out that this woman was with friends and the friends left her basically. And that's the saddest part again is that some of y'all going out, you're blessed to get out of the state, out of the country to enjoy yourself. Try to make the best memories you can. But again, if you know you can't swim that well or you can't swim at all, then you shouldn't be nowhere near water. You want to go to them beaches, cool. But you make sure you keep yourself at shallows end. You do not want to be the victim of circumstance, especially some of y'all traveling to all the good spots like Hawaii and all the spots where Jamaica, where it's going to be either some form of tornado, hurricane, or a severe storm. You want to keep yourself as safe as possible because again, this is your life at stake. Now, see, going back to the situation with the girl fighting the cop, apparently you was hanging out of the sunroof of the car. I know y'all all celebrating everything cool, but when you see that everybody else is calm, you need to calm down yourself too. Because again, that scenario could have been bad for everybody around you, your brother, and whoever else was with you. James, what's going on? Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. But see, that scenario right there could have went far worse for you. God forbid, y'all probably could have got unalive because they would have probably assumed y'all being some form of a threat, even though we know there was intoxication in it. But still, there was no need for you to try to fight, kick, and do all these things to that police officer and then you know, you thought they was gonna let you go. And this is something that I see it's a lot of you young women out there. Keyword, a lot of you young women that are out there doing that shit. You want to fight authority and police for no reason. Guess what? You lucky they don't do to you like how they do to the dudes. Let a dude be the one hauling off or fighting cops or having them do something to where it's extraneous. You think they ain't gonna be whooping ass? I'm serious. You don't think they gonna be up there? You don't think some of these people end up getting themselves beat up before or even after hitting the precinct? You bugging. You just assaulted a police officer. And you know how it is. You hit one of them, you hitting all of them. Some of y'all have to stop doing that when you're intoxicated. Stop wanting to be overly emotional and be quick to fight. And there's some of you young men out there too that's doing the same thing. You want to rear up and buck up at people, even authority. But where's this energy at with your real energy? And I think that's something that needs to be looked at again. You are supposed to be enjoying the best moments of your life. Not supposed to be fighting for your life, and you definitely not supposed to be trying to fight charges because of just supposedly hanging out. Now again, had this girl just stayed cool, stayed under wraps, probably wouldn't have got arrested. But again, when you lift your hands up, you can expect that. Don't expect good things when you decide to bring that type of energy. Because when the energy is met, oh, trust me, it's going to be a doozy for you. And again, you know, you lucky because in certain scenarios, this could have ended real bad where you could have been another tragedy or another victim on the news. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working harder than these damn pigeons in the water, baby. Yeah, my bad, y'all. You know, I need to start catching more pictures of that. Pigeons up in that water chilling right now. Miss Chicago, baby. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you traveling, you supposed to be going out with your peeps, having a good time. Remain doing so. You know, why try to be extra just because? Trust me, that energy that you present is going to do a lot. It's going to make you think twice the next time around. You know, like, it's some things you just got to realize. Your safety, your overall, you know, happiness, that solely depends on you and it starts with you. So, you know, you got to think about that. You know, you only got one life to live in this shell of a body. You want to try to live the best way possible or try to at least do the best things possible. You know, like I said, some of y'all, you know, you blessed to finally get some time to get out and go do shit. Go do it. You know, you gotta remember that part. When you're sitting here playing stupid games, you are gonna win stupid prizes. And that was stupid. I'm sorry. That was stupid. Now, what if that cop would have been a shaky cop and would have decided once you kicked him, they'd have shot you? Again, you would have been a casualty for a simple stop. But you know, come on now. I granted, y'all all enjoying somebody's birthday celebration or y'all turned up. I understand that. But there is still rules and regulations even when you're driving. Angela, baby. And that's another thing. Some of y'all playing games. This is another reason why some of y'all not coming home. Because you playing games on the road or you playing games behind the wheel of metal. Like, come on now. Do you really think somebody want to see the last thing of you, jaws of life, trying to take you out of a car that's mangled? Well, that's another thing about being careful on that road, for real. Definitely prayers, James. Damn. You know, and this is what I'm saying. You got to be careful. Even on these bikes too, to a degree. Some of y'all have to be careful, especially when the roads are slick. You know, some of y'all want to take a risk, but you know, it could be the simplest thing between life and death. Sorry to tell you that way. Trust me, I already know that part because I lost a family member like that. I lost a family member down south like that. Lost control. He completely hit a pole. Head got decapitated. Left behind two kids, you know, and a wife that was definitely struck because she was on the bike with him. Luckily, she survived, but he didn't. That's what I'm saying. Cautionary tales. Y'all got to be careful on these bikes and on these roadways. It's nothing funny about being unalive or possibly being broken in half just because. Like for some of y'all, if you know you airy about traveling when the weather is kind of messed up or messing up the roads, follow your gut instinct. You could possibly save yourself and save others. Now, again, with this young woman, you know, you lucky that it didn't turn into a serious escalation. You can't sit here and just because you're impatient or just because you think you should be gone, that you're gonna fight these cops. Now, saying if he now let's say if it had been another scenario, you done punched this cop and now he decide to wail on it. Now some people will say, "Oh, he wrong still, he a man." Yeah, but see, you can't present that energy. Some of you young ladies have to remember, if you're not fighting again to protect yourself and your livelihood, there's no need for you to be so aggressive towards the men, especially some of these men are trying to help. Some of you young men out here are going into these different areas as well too, and doing things that you know could get you locked up or worse. Prayers to that young man, James. Um, Prayers to anybody who might have been in any form of incidents as of lately, or any form of vehicular accidents, because again, this is something that we got to address. More safety on the road for real. Again, we are tired of those type of scenarios too. Now we understand sometimes freak accidents might happen, but there are some scenarios where these accidents can be avoided. Like prime example, if you know you on heavy meds and you know you ain't supposed to be operating nothing, don't get behind the wheel. Even if you feel you are having some form of a health issue, just call 911 and try to hold off if you can. And that's the thing. You want to try to, be in the best of spirits and the best of health, period. And that's the thing. Again, you're playing around with your life because it could be just your luck. You turn around and hit a 18 wheeler, or you hit an ambulance, or you hit a bus, or something along those lines, or you go flying out your window or flying off your bike. Some of y'all definitely have to be careful. That's crazy, James. That's what I'm saying. Even for some of you new riders out there, you have to be careful. And this the thing, because some of y'all love the speed, but again, sometimes you're gonna have to follow a certain speed in order to keep yourself from getting seriously hurt. And that means paying attention to the road and the streets and all of that. Now I know with some bikes that you can't ride in the streets, but you still have to be mindful, even if you are riding on the sidewalks. Cage, what's going on, my guy? Now, for these two scenarios I was talking about, and I'm going back to the beginning. Again, for some of you young women and young men out there, try to enjoy your time outside of the states or outside of the country, you know, without putting yourself in harm's way. Prime example, I'm gonna use another one with the Brittany Griner situation. See what happened? Could have been damn near doing 9 to 18 years or 9 years just because of having some weed paraphernalia. Again, they laws and statutes are different from ours. What might be a slap on the wrist and you'll be leaving out the precinct ain't always gonna be that way when you go other places. East Dad, what's going on? And that's the thing for some of y'all again. You can't go into another scenario and think you can just say and do what you want and think there won't be consequences. It's just like you can't take a tough guy mentality from here, go elsewhere and think there ain't somebody either tough or that it ain't gonna be a scenario where you really have to fight for your life. Another thing some of y'all doing, you wrapping yourselves up with people you barely know when you going out in these places, and you need to be careful. Y'all remember previous lives, I was talking about a dude that lost his life, may he rest in peace, going outside of the states to go quote unquote link up with somebody that he was talking to, and they set him up. You have to be careful, fellas. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be careful and the choices and decisions that you're making, especially when you're out of the states. It's good for some of y'all to definitely, if you travel into other countries, uh, brush up on some of your languages or try to have an interpreter that knows what's what. So this way, in case of a scenario, y'all know how to get emergency, y'all know how to deal with scenarios, and you won't get wrapped up. And that's what I'm saying. Like you have to remember these things when you travel. You know, yes, the main objective is getting to your destination safe, and then making sure you make it from your destination back home safe. But you want to try to enjoy as much as possible as well too. But remember, at some point, too much enjoyment or too much of whatever that could, you know, while you up will get you fessed up in a minute. I think that it is critical again that some of y'all just again be mindful of who you with. Make sure that you could travel with these people, you know, and again just make sure you make it at home safe. One thing you don't want is your family picking up the bill because you put yourself in a scenario that wasn't necessary. Again, prime example, you can't swim a lick at all. Do not be anywhere where you can end up being a drown victim. And there's some of you who have fear of small or being crowded or being in small spaces. Try to keep yourself as calm as possible because some of you are going to freak out. I understand that. But even in them scenarios, you're supposed to make sure you're always safe and also comfortable. Don't put yourself in a alarming position. You be out of state or you could be out of country, but guess what? You still got to make sure you're keeping yourself safe. So try to, you know, keep certain things to a minimum. Go enjoy yourself, have fun. Go see the sights. Create memories. That's the thing. If you know for a fact you got a fear of certain, like prime example, you got a fear of heights. I don't think you want to be somewhere where you could possibly either pass out or get sick or anything along those lines. But if you are going to do certain things because you want to conquer certain fears, then make sure you with the right people. One thing to remember too is Marco, what's going on, my guy? It's been a minute. Be safe on that road, my guy. No doubt serious, baby. And that's the thing. Just some of y'all should listen to some of these cautionary tales you do hear. Not just on the news, but what you read in the papers. Some of these stories give you a key critical life lesson. Again, some of you young men and women can't go out there with that presentation of I'm gonna be violent, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Because there'll be a point where you won't make it home. And again, who wants to be sitting in a foreign jail for 10, 20 years of their life? It's critical. Sassy baby, it's critical and it's definitely key to do so. Look how many stories we done had. Young women decide they want to go meet off with people or leave off from friends. Prime example. And that's another thing. If y'all all went somewhere together, y'all should be coming back together. Not you leaving your friend on stuck or you leaving your friend to where they end up being missing or unalive. There's so many people who are probably still missing, and the only thing they was doing was going on a trip. There's some people who definitely came back home in a box. Now, that's the thing. Like I said, just imagine you're supposed to be out and about with your peoples, and even if they got into something, or even if all of y'all decided y'all was gonna meet back up. Y'all should be able to meet up somewhere where nobody's missing. But prime example, if I know you can't swim, I'm not going to leave you somewhere where you could possibly drown. And I'm definitely not going to leave you where I have to explain to your family why or what all happened. I'm not going to do that. For some of y'all, that buddy system might sound weak, but it ain't weak. This is a way that y'all keep each other intact. And this is a way that y'all keep yourselves safe so y'all can all come home together. Just like if y'all all out together and it's a scenario that takes place, now you all gonna have to fight. It shouldn't be one or two fighting and it's a group of y'all. No, everybody that came together should be fighting together, especially again, it's supposed to be the system. This is why it's important again to really see who your true friends are. You got those friends that you know you could go in and out of state with, travel with, and come home in one piece. Keep those people. It's important. Another thing for some of y'all, if you're not on the beaches but you're in the pools, and again, you know you don't really know how to swim or you can't even do the simple thing like float, don't be near the water. Just sit back, side of the pool, and relax. But this is one thing I want to say too, because it's people who like to play pranks or it's people that like to do certain things and don't really take heed to the scenarios. If you know for a fact that person can't swim, that's not a good prank to pick them up out of their seats and toss them into the pool, especially if you're not going to go get them. And even still, that's just not a funny or it's not a funny type of joke anyway. That's a dangerous prank. There are some people who have either almost been unalived just because of that. There's some of y'all who think you could do certain things that's not going to have repercussions. I remember few lives ago when I was telling y'all about the situation. Young boys was pranking the young boy, and that boy got unalived because of the prank. Now again, how you think that's going to be on their conscience? Things they didn't have to do, but they did it anyway. I'm sorry, but some of y'all is going to have to start thinking more wiser, and you definitely have to spread that message. If you know there's certain scenarios or certain things that people would really have a strong fear of, you don't put them in those scenarios. I don't care if you are quote unquote pranking or trying to be funny. That's not funny at all. Like prime example, if I know you got breathing problems or something along those lines, it wouldn't be wise of me to be trying to push you underwater or trying to keep you underwater, knowing that it could be an issue. You know, it's so many different elements you have to really think about. Now again, yeah, have a good time and try to do the best you can having a good time, but also be cautious. Like some of y'all still running around pool areas, knowing that these pool areas are slippery. You could slip and crack your skull, God forbid. Or you could slip, fall into the pool. I can remember people when I used to go to a specific beach jumping off the piers, even in the deepest parts of water. That's not safe neither. Because I knew a person who lost their life behind that. Fell off the with basically got dared to jump off, and when they jumped off, they hit their head on one of them either concrete beams or steel beams that was holding together the whole pit. That man never made it. That man was in a coma for almost a year before they had to pull the plug. May his family still find, you know, peace and hope. So, prayers to them too, because that wasn't something that they planned on, especially that was the baby brother of the family. Some of you young fellas out there, you go out in these clubs, or you going out in certain areas, you trying to meet up with these women that you barely know. You better make sure it's not a setup, or you better make sure you don't get set up with the package. Supposed to remember about your safety. Same thing with some of you women. Be cautious. You know, when you feel something is way off, when you feel something is just not right, again, follow your gut instinct. It will definitely save you. Now, again, another thing, some of y'all might be going into prime example. Some of y'all might be traveling to Africa or traveling somewhere where there's going to be zoos and safari missions. The safari missions, yeah, be careful. Definitely be careful. Now, if you going prime example on a tour, and again you traveling through jungle area, you know that there's possibilities of coming across specific animals. Don't be doing certain things outside of those tour vans and get yourself hurt. There's some of y'all that are going to these zoos and then you doing certain things like antagonizing the animals. And trust me, they don't like that either. Nah, it's a whole fact, bro. You know, some of y'all, you might be going new places to eat. You gotta make sure that if you feeling any type of way, you go get yourself immediate medical attention. There was a situation one time when this person was eating out at a new restaurant outside of this, outside of the country, and got real ill, sweats, fever. Come to find out, food poisoning. Food wasn't cooked all the way. Some of y'all going into these places, y'all want to get drinks, you want to get boozed up. Make sure there's no tainted liquor neither, because the tainted liquor or any form of that will definitely mess up your stomach. How they used to call it gut rot liquor. Make sure you are drinking liquor that is not. Make sure. Make sure it's not tainted, because you will mess yourself up. You could possibly have alcohol poisoning or worse. But again, when you know you're going into different areas, make sure you straight on the health tip. First of all, but I mainly wanted to talk about this part again, being safe. Again, unless you have to fight for your life, please, you young men and women out there, stop fighting authorities. Stop getting yourself in scenarios when you know you outnumbered. Stop presenting that energy that you know you're not going to be able to withstand. Some scenarios you got to walk away from. Welcome back, serious baby. Some scenarios, again, you have to be cautious and walk away from, because, again, that could be the meaning of your life. Again, you're supposed to be trying to create the best memories, not create horror stories. And even if prime example, you are doing car rentals and the places that you are visiting out of the country. Again, be careful on them roads. I don't care where you at. You have to be careful on them roads. There's some of y'all who are again playing around with your lives. But also be aware because you do have freak scenarios where cars will be driving in the opposite direction. You need to make sure that you are not a victim of that scenario or circumstance neither. No doubt. Have a good night, Angela, baby. Wait, Angela, don't leave out just yet. We got the new drop for you. We got the new drop for you, son. We got the new drop for you. Yeah, don't encourage my madness over here. Serious, don't encourage the madness. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. No, but definitely have a great night, Angela. I'm glad that everything is going well with you tonight too. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Encourage the madness. I know. Want y'all to encourage you. One more again. Might be the new birthday dance for y'all. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, um, don't encourage my madness, Mike. What's going on, my guy? But again, when you on the roads outside of the country, you have to be careful. And from what I've seen and from what I know, in certain spots, the steering wheel is on the what would be the passenger side over here. So again, you have to be careful on the road. I don't know if these cars drive the same like how these cars do over here, but you still got to be mindful because you could mess around and put yourself in a scenario before you fully even hit the highway. And again, when you know something is off, and I'm speaking even on the health tip, something is off while you out and about and you on these little vacations, go get yourself some help. See, again, when you know you are about to travel outside of the country, they always tell you to make sure you get vaccinated or make sure that you get your shots before you go elsewhere because you don't know what lies around that corner. You're in a whole different scenario outside of your comfort zone. Like I said, food is different. Some of the areas is different. And that's why I'm saying, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself, but make sure you're keeping yourself healthy as well. Again, you want to make sure that you're making it home. But you have to remember this part too. Again, you can't go with certain energy and think that it's not going to be met. Every time you do decide you want to travel or you want to move around, because some of you are lucky to do so. Again, you want to create the best possible memories. You don't want every story that you have with your people to say, "Yo, remember when we went this place, dude? So we got arrested for the bullshit." You don't want those type of memories. You want to say, "Yeah, we went out to here, we went there, we did this, we did that." Now, even if the weather is messed up and you can't enjoy one of those days on vacation, cool. Find something still to try to keep yourself occupied and make the best of it. I think that's the key thing, though. But again, make sure you traveling with the right people. And even if you decide you're gonna go for Dolly and go take your own trips, you still gotta be careful and still gotta be mindful for your safety. Because nobody else is gonna do that but you. So just remember that part. The key thing again is you want to make sure you make it home safe. And again, y'all have to stop meeting this aggression with aggression because it's not always gonna work out. Sometimes it's cool to let the cooler head prevail in that situation. Like I said, that could have been a scenario where she could have been on the news as a possible victim. See, and then some of these body cams are necessary because they also give you, they give you a scenario and a synopsis on certain things. And these are the things that we talk about and discuss. Like, again, you can't fight a male cop and then want to cry and play victim now that you're about to get arrested. And if you know you ain't built for that, then don't get arrested. Ruthie, baby, what's going on, sis? Hope all well with you. I think I commented on one or two of your shorts. I need a plate. I need a plate. But this is what I'm saying. I'm good, Root. I'm good. Good to see some of the good people I ain't seen in a minute. Hope all well with y'all. And I'm trying to get to everybody. Trying to get to everybody channel to some degree, but yeah. This don't work with everybody go live at the same time, but still know that the love is there one way or another with all of y'all. But again, your safety should be the number one priority. Prime example, if you did go traveling with some people and they left you in a position where it's gonna make you side eye them, then don't travel with these people again. Prime example, you all out and about, y'all all intoxicated, y'all all should be leaving together. Unless y'all all are getting into the same type of synapses and scenario, then there should be no reason why anybody is leaving anybody on stuff. You can't leave your friend high and dry, leave him drunk, and leave him to be a victim of a crime. Because again, how you think you're going to explain that to family when the questions start being asked? But again, it's important for a lot of y'all to really start being more wary for yourselves. You know, and again, when you know you have the wrong type of people you can't do certain things with, don't bother. You either travel dolly or travel with people that you know for a fact are not going to up and leave you. Like prime example, you traveled with somewhere and they just up and left you in a scenario where you had to almost fight for your life. That wouldn't be somebody I'd be bothered with. Oh, yo, we can all do this. Nah, you go do that on your own. We ain't traveling together. We are not going out together. You left me on stuck. I would even question that as soon as I get back. Like, is this somebody I really, you know, trust with my safety and everything else? That's the one thing when it comes to making sure you have the best type of friends because they're gonna make sure you don't put yourself in that high dry scenario. Because they're gonna think about their safety just as well as they're gonna think about your safety. And vice versa. And for some of you women out there who be in the groups and the packs, you can't have your friends wilding out to the point where there's violence ensued. See, again, some of y'all placing yourselves in scenarios where you're looking for protection. And then some of y'all who are going to the extremes to try to diminish or demolish the man, but in the same token, these are the same people you look for when it comes to some form of protection. You can't talk foul about a man, prime example, but then you still expect that same man to protect you and defend you. No, it's not gonna work that way. And then I've seen scenarios where the girls have been the unruly, but they had girls within that group that checked them. And that's what y'all need more of. Y'all need that common friend in the scenario that's going to tell you, nah, you tweaking right now. Hold them accountable. And that's on both ends. Y'all got some fellas that's wilding out, but y'all need those fellas within that group that's going to let you know, bro, you out. You need to chill out. You know, you got to have the clear level and the level minded person within the group. And if you don't, you all are going to be in a scenario, in a synopsis that is going to turn out dastardly for real. You know, the most important thing again is just keeping your eyes on the main objective. Stop putting yourselves in scenarios where people got to come protect you. And if you know you somewhere that just seems unsavory to you, then you follow your gut instincts and get up out of it. Going around. All right. And I think that's something that should be thought about. You know, you can't place yourself can't place yourself in harm's way all the time because you might not get lucky. You know, it's a risk that you take. You risk your livelihood by doing certain things that's not necessary. Violence, unnecessary anger issues, being unruly, period, in certain areas. You know, again, it'll look bad on you. But I think that's something that we lost to a degree. We lost, again, the common sense factor. Because for some of y'all, common sense should say, um, if we don't want to end up losing somebody within the realms of the group, or if we don't want to end up losing ourselves, we got to be on point and prepared for any scenario. Making sure you have the things that you need. Like, prime example, if you are a severe asthmatic, making sure you at least got your inhaler, pump, or whatever the case is a definite important key for some of y'all. Again, you know, you take certain meds, make sure you got those meds with you. But again, make sure these are not the meds that are going to have you to where you can't drive or do anything. And if it is, you still need to travel with somebody that's going to be able to do some of the traveling for you. I think that's important, though. Like what I was saying again about some of y'all linking up with people you don't know. Again, make sure that it's not a setup, but also make sure it's not a situation where it could lead to one. There was a scenario that took place. Now, this is off topic. There was a scenario that took place where a guy could almost got unalive. Why? Again, scenarios of y'all fighting over the same person. It's obvious when there's certain scenarios at play. For some of y'all fellas, not gonna win that battle. Not gonna win that war neither, so it don't make sense to even do so. Could have got unalive by the quote unquote baby father. But this is my thing again for some of y'all. Like I said the other night, you know you're not completely over your ex, your baby father, baby mother, whoever, you better get in control of whatever you need to get in control of before you decide to lead or try to entice anybody else. Because the scenario will not always be a good one. Common sense is free, James, but some people aren't going to use it until a certain scenario takes place. Now, see, this is my thing. I get where this dude was coming from. I'm working hard. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm trying to build with you. But in the same token, I go to take care of business and come back, and you got the baby father in the house, like like he lived it. And those are scenarios, like I said, that sometimes some of you fellas just got to move forward from that. It's the same thing with some of you ladies. Might get caught up thinking everything is everything. That one could still be sleeping with their baby mother. Just move forward from there. Because again, if a person is going to tell you they're doing this and that they're serious about you, but then they're still making petty decisions or just careless decisions like that and choices, that's not a person you want to be with. Like if I had a baby mother prime example and I know I'm not over them, there's no way I can see myself trying to deal with anybody knowing that it could be that scenario right there. I would have to get myself right, or if I felt like this is something I could probably work out, then I would try to work it out. But these are the scenarios that people get placed in sometimes. Again, you young men and women out there, be cautious. If this person is still showing signs that they haven't gotten over whoever, even if there isn't a baby father, baby mother situation, if they haven't completely gotten over the previous situation, don't pursue it. Because chances are they're not going to get over it just yet, neither. That's why I said it's important to make sure you're in the best mental spaces before making any life decision. And for some people, they're not going to be happy about you wasting their time. So that's another thing some of y'all are going to have to deal with as far as the backlash is concerned. You know you're not feeling this person on that level, then don't bother. See, in that scenario, once I would have found that out, see that young man, I could see why he was upset. But again, that could have turned deadly for you because you were trying to fight somebody with a gun, or you was thinking about fighting somebody that had a loaded gun. But see, this is why I said some of y'all have to stop placing yourselves in these scenarios where your safety is at risk. And some of you women who are out there doing those games, just like some of you men out there, remember, there will be consequences. But in the long run, again, you put yourself in a scenario where karma will come back on you. Again, think before you do things. Best possible tool to save yourself. Fellas, the same thing. Be logical. And if you really ain't got no dog in the fight, no need for you to put up one. I said this and I'm going to say it again. If a person has already showed you that they're not for you on that level, no need for you to keep pushing it. Like I said, for some of y'all, learn when to take rejection or learn when to read the signs that a person is not interested. And even if there's a scenario where you think somebody could be interested, still be cautious in what you're doing. I think one of those rappers recently had got set up behind something like that, going to meet up with somebody think it was the rapper from I think he was from the West Coast, Trouble. Like I said, set up by a whole woman. Y'all gotta be careful, man. And some of you women be careful too, because we done heard stories like that too. Thinking y'all gonna meet up with this person, everything gonna be cool, and that person has somebody there ready to do the unthinkable. It's sad that you have people like that in the world who are doing things like that, but it's also a cautionary tale that you just gotta be more mindful. Prime example, uh, even for some of y'all who are trying to get into that entertainment field, be careful in what you're doing. If a person keep walking in and out the room every so often, that's something you should be watching out for. Because I always feel like this. You don't have to keep walking in and out of a room to take a phone call. You can easily walk across, especially if there's no loud music or anything that would cause you to have to walk outside. Some of y'all be careful because those people can be doing certain things along those lines. And especially when you are in different states. Because a lot of these states are notorious for certain things that you don't want to be a part of. But when you learn again to just be more wise and critical with your safety, you'll see that it'll make a whole life changing difference. Word, what's going on, my guy? I'm glad you popped up in here. I told your ass I had a drop for your ass too. Don't worry.
Yes, 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 yes. No, no. Yes, yes, yes.
Told you. AI God has popped up in here. Nah, great live last night too, bro. But this is what I'm saying though. You gotta understand that, there's gonna be severe ramifications when you're not, being safe and being wise in your decision making. Like I said, sometimes it seems like it's too good to be true. 9 out of 10 it is. Nah, I ain't gonna make it worse. You gonna make it worse, bro. I'm telling you right now. There'll be more drops and more drops. But again, you are blessed to, see and experience new things. Make sure your safety is intact again. I'm tired of hearing these type of stories, people veering off from friends or just you by yourself and you unsure of certain areas and scenarios. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in a scenario where you can end up seriously getting hurt. Know who you traveling with, know what you're getting yourselves into, and again, don't overdo it. And if you are going to be out celebrating, again, know your limits. That's why they always say it should be one sober person or at least two sober people who are going to be able to get the group back. Wait, one more again for my new drop.
Yes, 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 yes. No, no. Yes, yes, yes.
AI God activated. But then, you got to remember, this is something that you can't ignore no more. You must put your safety on a pedestal. Yes, you got to put that on the pedestal. You want to make sure you're getting into the right things and not the harmful things. So I said, keep the circle tight as possible, keep your safety and everything else along those lines in the best of regards. No doubt, Mike. Appreciate you, my guy. Link is in the chat in case anybody want to chime in. I mean, I'm trying to give the best safety I can for some of y'all young ones out there that are traveling. Because again, some of y'all are not trying to be wise in the actions that you're taking. Again, make sure you brushing up on your languages. Like if you are going to be going to France, you want to at least know some of the language, even if it's or at least have those books. They got audio books. And from what was said, they got the audio earpiece that you could basically um decipher and whatever and understand what the person is saying. If this is true, that's something y'all should be getting up on. At least this way, when you're in a whole different scenario or environment, you can understand what's coming out of somebody's mouth. Even if you don't understand how to speak the language, at least you can understand the language. You know, and in some scenarios, you could probably save your life. The best thing you can do is try to keep your life as preserved as possible. Because it's evil all around the world, period. You know, main thing is just trying to keep yourself out of harm's way. Again, just, be very cautious. You have no choice but to be cautious nowadays, you know, because the same scenarios and the same issues that are happening here in these states, it's happening all around the world. But in other countries, it's worse. Some of the same crimes are still being done now. You don't want to put yourself in a scenario where you end up being a victim or be kidnapped. Again, for some of y'all, yeah, the sex trades and trafficking and all that is still going on. You can get snatched up any and everywhere, basically. Man, Texo, what's going on, my guy? Been a minute. Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But this is something that you really have to take into full blown consideration. And especially, again, for some of you young ladies out there, get familiar with certain things before you start traveling outside of the country. You being either too unaware or not prepared will put you in the worst scenario yet. Watch your drink. And that's another thing when y'all out and about celebrating. Watch your drinks, watch your food, watch everything that's around you. Don't leave anything for a second because that's all it takes. The minute you decide to go away from that, that could be the issue with you. No doubt, bro. Appreciate you, my guy. And again, if you're gonna be traveling with the people that you deem are good friends, they better make sure they got safety number one. Because to a degree, it seemed like safety and common sense at the all-time low. But it should not be that way at all. You know, you want to, and that's even prime example. Even if you do have a family and y'all all going on family vacations, just be mindful. Make sure that your young ones, your young Padawans are watching after each other as well too. Because all it takes is 1 second or one mishap, and it could be a very cautious or very precarious situation. One thing I am going to say for some of y'all who are traveling with young kids, especially the toddlers, make sure that you keeping them by your side. Make sure you keeping eyes and ears on them. You don't know how many stories we done seen and heard, especially on my job, where young ones just go missing. You know, people are going missing or kids are going missing, and parents either not paying attention or wasn't aware that their child had even gotten away. But this is the thing, though. Again, you know, the toddlers should be in a good position. Pay attention to them. Don't let their hands go. And again, shoot. Hey, if you got to strap them in the stroller, strap them in the stroller. Honda, what's going on, baby? What's going on, sis? What's going on? You know, but this is what I was saying. You know, cautionary tales. All last summer, prime example. That's all I kept hearing before I got to my job or even while I was on the job. And this is things you hear like even on the police walkie talkies. Code 70 or situation 70, child missing or child whatever. You hate hearing those because the children shouldn't be separated from their parents or their family members. So everybody got to pay attention. And if you're going to let your older kids veer off with the younger ones, make sure, again, they paying attention. You know, you got a whole bunch of different scenarios. You got creeps, predators, and all of that. Things that you know you got to be careful for. You know, it is time again for some of y'all to use your logic and your common sense when you're traveling. You know, and especially some of y'all, prime example, might have already started spring break or starting spring break. You know, you want to make sure you're safe. Again, when you're traveling outside of the country and outside of these good states, just follow specific rules and regulations, and you will be good all the time. You don't have to worry about too much. Most thing you would probably have to just be cautious about is again just your overall health. Like again, some of y'all can get sick by eating foreign foods that you're not accustomed to or used to. So my thing is try to stick with what you know, you know. But also make sure if you're out and about eating and doing whatever, just make sure that the places that you are traveling to that the people are doing what they need to do, like following hygiene, following, safety codes, even when dealing with food. You know, some of these people who are getting sick because they are supposed to be eating what's supposed to be high quality or good restaurant food. But make sure that the people who are dealing with your food are as clean as possible and doing things by the book. Other week I went into a chicken spot, grabbing something for the night shift and completely walked out of there and went into another spot. There's no way I walk into that chicken spot and the man is playing in his face and doing everything else outside of, and then want to still try to mess around with food with no gloves on. No, no, no. Go wash your hands. I said, as a matter of fact, you don't even gotta do that. I don't want the order now. Walk right back out. Give me my money. I'm up out of here. Ain't been in that place since. Anytime I think that person in, nope, I won't be going in there. Because you got some people who are, trust me, not the cleanest people when it comes to dealing with foods. You know, yeah, and that's the thing too, sis. You got to be careful with some of the even the stuff that we accustomed to eat, or the things that we like to grab on the go. I don't, like I said, I haven't had McDonald's, and don't give me the line right now because it's been, I'm gonna say, more than 8 years, probably 10, since I really ate anything out of McDonald's. So, nah, and that's what you gotta be careful for too, Mike, because you don't know what these people are doing to the food. There was a scenario that was on this. There was a video that that I was watching. I was still pretty young at the time. They had a video called "Banned from TV," and they were showing a lot of things that they couldn't show on the news or they couldn't show on some of these shows, like showing what really goes on behind the scenes of certain things. And the things that they seen when it came to the food and the entertainment industry was it baffled people. Prime example. Some of y'all have to be careful at the bar and grills because you gotta make sure the person is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Prime example, you know you just dealt with garbage. You don't want to cross contaminate food or drinks. Don't come back in there touching things. Go wash your hands and do what you need to do. And it's not saying that, you can't go out and enjoy yourself or go out and grab something quick and easy sometimes. But, sometimes you better off being safe, preparing your own food. That's one thing you have to remember. You know, some of these people are definitely not playing with a full deck of cards. It be your luck you get sick behind somebody because they done sneezed on your food. They done coughed and touched your food. And one of the cases I was watching, the dude was serving drinks. But guess how he was stirring up the drink since he didn't have a quote unquote spoon that they supposed to use to mix the drinks. He was using his penis. If I could find that clip, y'all would, trust me, y'all be sick. Y'all would think twice to some degree about certain, establishments, or just making sure you keeping eyes and tabs on the people in those establishments. Because there's no way you could tell me you thought to do that, and then was serving them the drinks as you was doing it. Nah, that's a whole fact, man. Text a number. That's the thing. It's just common sense. You dealing with food, drinks, and certain things along those lines. You have to follow specific protocols. Again, you don't want to. You want to avoid cross contamination. Like, come on now. That's why I said there's nothing wrong with eating out here and there or every so often. But every night, that's a problem. And see, every night to a degree or every day eating the same thing, sometimes you mess around, you get that wrong person behind the grill or behind the cook, and food won't be the way it's supposed to be. You know? Nah, look, Honda, you already know, but see, that's the thing. Some people are doing things out of spite, and I think that was just spiteful because you was pouring the drinks. And see, lucky the camera that was behind there was catching everything because nobody could see what he was doing except that camera. That camera spotted everything. You poured a drink, you was making the drink, and then you turned around and you started doing that. Yeah, you gotta be careful. That's why I said because when you are traveling outside of the country, you're traveling outside of this United States of America. when you going elsewhere, there could be a lot of different things happening. But this is what I'm saying. The same things that could be happening here is happening everywhere. People are not being courteous and being more wise to, dealing with people's safety and health. That's why I said, even if you're traveling outside of wherever you decide you're going to eat, make sure that the places are proper and make sure that everything is up to code. If something don't seem right, don't bother going to eat there. And even if everything presented itself in a good light, but you still end up somewhat getting sick, go get yourself some immediate medical attention. Like I said, a lot of different things can be changed, you know, and there's certain things that could always be avoided. But again, you just got to be mindful of your safety. You got to be careful. See, like I was telling y'all, I was careful. I walked in that chicken spot and seen that guy was doing all of that and kindly left out the spot. No, you're not getting my money, and you're doing all of this, and then I gotta watch you. No, 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 no. I shouldn't have to tell you nothing. It should be safety rules in play. Period. With dealing with food, especially if you're the one cooking, you're supposed to have a hair net or something on to make sure everything is everything. That's always number one. But when you are about to start preparing food, you're supposed to put gloves on. I've seen one or two spots, and I left out of those spots, at least those locations, because there's no way you're going to tell me you just threw out garbage with the same gloves on, and then you going to try to come back and try to prepare food with the no, no, no. That's why again you have to be very careful in the places that you go to and visit, and make sure that these workers are safe and up to code. Because if not, you'll get a scenario like that where you done messed around and got sick for no reason. That's the thing. I understand in certain scenarios, yes, it's going to get hot behind the kitchen. It's going to get hot behind them grills and everything else. But y'all also got to remember, y'all dealing with people's safety, and it could be the simplest thing that might not be harming you. You do something that contaminate somebody else's food, especially an older person, a senior citizen, or something like that. You could possibly mess with their health. Again, when you are dealing with these scenarios, please be mindful. And now I'm definitely speaking to those people who need to hear it. Those who are doing food prep or dealing with food. Make sure you are going by the book. When you see certain things definitely looking unsavory, just remember, you still got an option to get up out of there. Huh? Uh-huh. Give me a second, y'all. Yeah, I'm about to have to get ghetto real quick, y'all. Give me 1 second. Yeah, but definitely, again, make sure your health is, you know, make sure your health is definitely intact. Definitely make sure that, you get the proper medical attention. Oh, I gotta go do this. You know, and that's the thing again, you know, just being safe all in all. Hopefully tonight some of y'all did get something out of this because there are definitely hidden dangers, especially when traveling. The worst danger is being on your own and not having no way to fend for yourself. That's why I said it's very important to make sure when you're traveling with the right form of people. And again, safety over everything. That is basically part of the title, safety over everything. Some of you young men and women, again, going out in different countries and causing the type of scenarios that are going to be drastic for you. Uh, Before you think to do it, better look about the cautionary tales. Sometimes it don't always end well for you. Sometimes you could go out somewhere, but you might not make it back. Just have a little bit more respect for the culture and respect for the rules. And that's it. But I think the link is still in the chat in case anybody want to chime in. But if not, I ain't gonna hold y'all too crazy tonight. I definitely want to get that out the way for some of y'all who are, again, traveling. Right? And even if you just traveling from your state to another state, still just gotta be mindful and careful. Keep your eyes open, you know. For those celebrating birthdays again today, I feel like I owed y'all something. So, and I did owe y'all something. Hold this one more time. Still owe y'all birthday. I still owe y'all birthday. Still owe y'all birthday shout out. Don't worry.
She got a booty, I'm rubbing her butt. Like, baby girl, I wanna fuck. Like, get jig. 1, 2 step in the box. 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 Get jig. She got a booty, I'm rubbing her butt. Like, baby girl, I wanna fuck. Like, get jig. 1, 2 step in the box. 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 Get jig.
Don't encourage the madness, y'all. Well, hopefully, hopefully y'all enjoy y'all birthdays, and I gotta give another special birthday shout out to my young brother. You know, hopefully y'all enjoyed yourself over the weekend. Hopefully y'all enjoy yourselves this week. Keep yourselves safe and visual as always. Keep creating memories. Enjoy every moment of it. And give praises where it's due if you're able to see another year, you know. Don't encourage the madness, y'all. I see y'all was over here encouraging it. I told y'all not to do it, but we're gonna do it anyway.
She got a booty, I'm rubbing her butt. Like, baby girl, I wanna fuck. Like, get jig. 1, 2 step in the box. 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 Get jig.
Can't take that dick, wait your turn. In my own lane, we can't merge. So with no head, you can learn. Let's see how much you can earn. Can't
Told y'all not to encourage the damn madness. Come on, y'all. Y'all know better. Y'all know better. Oh, since y'all don't know better, watch this.
fuck bitches, I'm roll running. Catch up with me, I stack hundreds. I blow 50, chase money.
I told y'all it was coming. It was coming. It was coming. It's all right, though. It's all right, though. You know I got y'all.
What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing.
Oh man, I ain't gonna hold y'all too crazy. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Sirius, for dropping all those links tonight as well too. Appreciate you and everybody who has really been a part of this growth. You know, part of these great talks, lives, and messages. But yeah, don't encourage the madness no more. Don't encourage the madness no more. Sirius, come take my device, please. Please come take my device. I need your help. I need your help. But good vibes as always. Wait a minute.
Don't give in, trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in. Don't give in, trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in. Don't give in, trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in. Don't give in, trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in. Don't give in, trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in. Don't give in, trust me, could take all your sins.
Yeah, I know not to encourage the madness. Wait a minute. Encourage the madness.
Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn
I'm scared to hand you the device and then Baby Rufus or Klepto and them take it back. So hold on, wait a minute. Let me make sure. Let me make sure I don't do nothing crazy.
You want me on me like no. Sorry girl, but you gotta go. Sorry girl, but it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Cause she want me on me like no. Sorry girl, but you gotta go. Sorry girl, but it's too much. It's too much. It's too much.
Y'all knew y'all was gonna get some of the madness, y'all know. You know. But I couldn't leave y'all out because I know some of y'all gonna be celebrating Easter soon. So again,
I'm Chucky. Bitch. I'm Ray. I'm Chucky. Bitch. I'm Ray.
no, I ain't got no damn sense. I told y'all to take my device months ago. James, come get your nephew and them, man.
Is that too obvious? Okay, I like your confidence. Oh, this one could come in, it's okay. By the way your body is that too obvious? Okay, I like your confidence. Oh, this one could come in, it's okay.
Told y'all stop playing around and come get your nieces and nephews and all of them.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem.
Yeah, I know. Man, for those who feel like me right now,
I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. I just ain't tryna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. Joking. I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. I just ain't tryna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow. I don't wanna go to work. I don't wanna work tomorrow.
Now, before we start to turn it out, you must first begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop.
So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me could take all your sins. So let me could take all. So let me could. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, could take all your sins. So let me could take all your sins. So let me could take all. So trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins.
Motherfucker.
So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins.
I know I ain't got no damn sense. And this is what happens when you don't take the damn device from me. You get all of the love. You get all of the love. But, again, hopefully somebody did get something out of this message today, for real. Your life and your safety shouldn't have a price, and it shouldn't be played with. And if you really love yourself and respect yourself, then you should be able to love and respect what you're getting into. Have respect for other people's cultures, rules, and regulations, but also have respect for yourself. Ah, shoot. Florida just beat Houston. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get the good dance in there.
So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all your sins. So let me in, don't give in. Trust me, girl, take.
You don't like to dance? Come on, do the cha-cha. Shorty Spanish, so she like to call me Papa. True fact, everything I do, they call it flaca. All they do is copy me, I call them Walker. She get you don't like to dance? Come on, do the cha-cha. Shorty Spanish, so she like to call me Papa. True fact, everything I do, they call it flaca. All they do is copy me, I call them Walker.
There you go. Had to get all of that out. But again, for some of you young men and women out there, some of the stories that you do hear about, again, use those as blueprints for being more cautious with yourself. Again, if you got somebody that will leave you even in the middle of a fight, that's not a person you should definitely be traveling with. Period. Remember, safety over everything. Don't encourage the madness, man. Don't encourage the damn madness. Matter of fact, encourage the madness. Encourage it. Just encourage it a little bit. Encourage a lot of it, though. Since I'm feeling good, hold on 1 second.
I'm out the way, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here's remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, made his homeboys and them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped. Yeah, I'm out the way, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here's remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper, nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, made his homeboys and them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon.
Once again, ran it up, I told her mama slide in my DMs. Now I'm right back again.
Yeah, don't encourage the madness, y'all. Don't encourage the madness. But again, you want to start seeing a lot more people come home safely. Again, you have stories of people who were able to make it home and made it home in one piece. But then we got stories where some people unfortunately did. And if it wasn't because of an untimely passing, some of them are sitting up in foreign jails for serious offenses or offenses that would be minor over here, they consider serious over there. So again, be mindful. If you know you visiting outside of the United States, again, Jamaica, Africa, France, wherever, just make sure you know the lingo. Also, make sure you just keeping your safety intact at all times. Blueprint for safety tonight, though, y'all. But yeah, let me take the time again to thank everybody who has been part of the bill, still becoming part of the bill, and yes, still got more conversations coming. I gotta go back to my old saying though. You might not like what's coming out my mouth. You might not like the fact that I'm the one that's saying it, but these are things you have to accept. So accept this as your challenge. Accept the challenge of keeping yourself safe no matter where the hell you at in the world. You want to come home in one piece, keep yourself under wraps. So I can really tell y'all. I think I got one more before I get up out of here. And I think I got one more before I get up out of here. I'm going back one more again, y'all. So I know it's an email coming as soon as I end this damn live. And it never fails. Stop laughing, y'all. Y'all not supposed to be encouraging that madness. Okay, well, encourage this then.
You a baddie, the type I appreciate. With no makeup, you looking good in the face. Natural body, I'm loving how it's shaped.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hoes coming in, so I gotta bring the guys with me. Said he get the dirty outside. Heard there was some freaks, so I had to bring it down with me. Oh, you with it? I'm gone. Come to the bathroom, give me that dome. Yo, man's get the.
And for all the haters.
Porn causes brain damage.
Yes. But,
All I ever wanted was a black grand national. Fuck being rational. Give them what they asked for. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really stepped, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take.
Well, since you said I've been clipped, good. Well, clip this too, don't worry.
She got a booty, I'm rubbing her butt. Like, baby girl, I wanna fuck. Like, get jiggy. 1, 2 step in the box. 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 Get jiggy. She got a.
And a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight and no one there that you can kiss good night.
Clip that too while you at it. And while you also at it, hold on one second. I need you to clip one more thing. I need you to clip this.
Is there something strange in your neighborhood? Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
Yeah, you clip that too, word. Don't worry, clip that too. Man. But and don't forget to clip this. Clip that while you out there too, that damn it. Yeah, but I appreciate y'all, like I said. And I'm gonna revisit this because this is another thing we gotta keep bringing awareness to, especially for those who are traveling. You know, supposed to always preserve your safety when traveling. Stop encouraging the madness, James, Didi. You know what, Didi? I got something for your ass. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. There you go.
Good with a slick mouth. You better not run up on me. If you do, then I'ma trip out. You better not run up on me. If you do, then I'ma trip out. 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 You better not run up on me.
I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet. You hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please say it. I rock like pebble, jump for your sheet. You hear this beat, coming like heavy metal. If you got a business, bro, please say it.
I fucked up old girl, I know, I fucked up old girl, I know, I fucked up old girl, I fucked up old girl, I know.
Yeah, encouraged all of the madness. All of it, damn it. Embrace it, bask in it, inhale it, mother. That's what we need. More laughter. And for those who might have just been tuning in late, y'all could definitely catch this replay. I could be back either tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, possibly tomorrow evening, but I'll most likely be back tomorrow afternoon with another conversation. Told y'all not to encourage no damn madness, and y'all kept doing it. So here.
Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. 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 Please leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Don't forget to clip that too, or clip that shit too, son. Don't forget to clip it. Clip it all, goddammit. But don't clip this.
Oh yeah, I know you love it, muscle lips. Let's go. Lap it up, you hungry son of a bitch. Whoop! Sorry.
Get a handle on your frisbee, college boy.
Oh, you do not want to go.
Yeah, I've been clipped again, I know. Clip this too.
These niggas talking out of their neck. Don't put no coughing out of your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. Hey, let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. Say yes, a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, I hope them sentiments symbolic.
He is, but let me get my ass up out of here. Like I said, I'll see y'all most likely tomorrow afternoon. For those that have followed me on Clapper, I ain't forget about it. I just been real wrapped up with the workload, but trust me, I might be doing a brief appearance. Who knows? If I don't do it tomorrow, I could definitely be doing so on Friday. So I appreciate everybody that was a part of the conversation. I definitely see y'all tomorrow. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance tonight, you already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real bills. And as a matter of fact, hold on one second. Let me give y'all one more for the road.
Don't give in, trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in, don't give in, trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in, don't give in.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I normally don't ask girls stuff like this until they tell me they pregnant. What's your name?
Let me get up out of here though. But y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. Until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.